I attended college only because we had the cultural week and I got to dress up. So, haha, yeah, I just basically went to college because I wanted to dress up. Pick up two of the most unrelated topics and club them. This was a good clap. Hi everyone, this is Shambhavi, and in today's YouTube video, I'm going to be giving you guys college advice. It's college advice time. It's that time of the year. I feel like I am qualified to give you guys college advice because I just got done with the first year of college. I survived the first year of college. I'm an introvert, so I feel like I can give you guys good advice. Anyway, so as somebody who's been an introvert my entire life, the thought of connecting with people, networking, and getting along and talking to everybody in college was daunting. It was so scary. And I did not like it. I did not like that thought. So in April of 2025, I started filming YouTube videos. And that was my way of learning how to be confident in front of the camera. It also helped me become more confident in front of an audience, honestly speaking. And I really like that. But if you're not somebody who wants to create content, if you're not somebody who wants to put out videos of themselves, you don't need to. Anyway, so I actually skipped out on the entire orientation week, which is not at all recommended. Do not do that. Don't skip out on your orientation, okay? So what happened was they told me I'll get a mail, and I got a mail and I forgot to check my mail. So everybody, please check your mail. Okay, that is the first advice. The first advice of college is that you need to keep checking your mail. Okay, if you're somebody like me who's never had the habit of checking their email, please check it. Please check it. Anyway, I skipped out on like 3 to 4 days of my orientation, and we had a 1 week orientation program right before we started our bridge course. And our bridge course was basically in like bridge courses, what they do is they teach you about what you're going to be learning in all of your classes and all of the courses that you're going to be taking. So if you did not know, I am a second year, now going into second year, BBA student, business administration student, and I am majoring in marketing and my minor is psychology. Anyway, so I started college as the most anxious person ever, and my brother's dog keeps barking. I am so sorry. Anyway, so we're gonna have to remove my mic and hold it. Yeah. So basically, when I started college, I skipped out on like a lot of my orientation week, and I made one friend. I made one friend. You're not okay. Listen, don't expect yourself to make like 100,000 friends on the first day of college or like the first day of orientation. It's not gonna happen. It's not that easy. Okay, just expect to make like maybe 2 to 3 friends at max, and that is more than great. Like that is more than good enough. And anyway, so I started late. Obviously, I started class like the day of the bridge course. Like I that was my first day in college, and I attended one day of the orientation week, which didn't really help me. I just made one friend. And so in BBA we have 3 categories, like we have 3 classifications in the majors. One is marketing, the other is finance, and the other is HR. So the one friend that I made on my first day of college, which was the last day of the orientation week, she was in finance and I am a marketing kid. So luckily when we were attending bridge courses, the class segregation was not done yet. So I was able to attend my bridge courses with her, and I was really introverted. Like, I barely spoke to anybody. I spoke to her and maybe like two other people throughout the orientation week. And then we got done with our, major selection, and everybody got segregated into their classes. And then I had to make new friends. I made one friend. Again, we were a total of 6 people in that group for the project, and then that is when I realized that everybody in the group, except for maybe 1 or 2 people, is less social. Most of them like being introverted. Most of them don't speak a lot. So then I was like, okay, I need to talk to people. And that is not happening ever. And I still did it. I spoke to people. I got along with a lot of people. Like, I just started talking to random people, and I just found like the most random, asinine excuses to go and approach people to talk to them. And I made one friend who is really extroverted, and this friend sort of connected me around to other people, which was fun. So when people give you the advice of making one extroverted friend and they're going to drag you around and you're going to get introduced to everybody, it's not exactly false, but it's not always true. So don't expect this to always work out for you. But for those of you guys who are really, really, really introverted, I have one advice. If you don't know how to talk to people, now, me, for example, I just approached people. I just started smiling at people in the hallway, complimenting people, talking to them, just saying hi, and then, like, a lot of other people that I spoke to connected me to different people. So basically, I just spoke to the most random people, okay? And that is how I made connections. But if you're not somebody who can easily start conversations, an advice that I'm gonna be giving you, this is like the best piece of advice, and it's the oldest trick in the book, and it always works. Carry a pack of chewing gum with you, and like eat one right like before your lecture when people have come around and like sat down next to you, right? Take a piece of gum and just put it in your mouth, and then naturally do it as naturally as possible. Just ask the person sitting next to you if they want a piece of gum. That is like the easiest, most like non-stressful way of starting a conversation. The most that's gonna happen is that the worst, okay, listen, the worst that's gonna happen is that this person is gonna look at you and say, no, I don't want a piece of gum. That is the worst that can happen, okay? And the best that can happen is, oh yeah, sure, thank you so much for offering. And then you just like start talking. That's it. And the middle ground of it is that they're gonna take a piece of gum and they're not gonna talk, which is kind of sad because you just lost a piece of gum. But just say something, okay? Say like the most stupid thing you can think of. Like, crack a dad joke. Crack like an unfunny joke. Okay? And it's still gonna be funny because the other person is gonna be like, and then you can like link something to your joke. Pick up two of the most unrelated topics and club them. This was a good clap. And just like make a joke out of it and put it out there for people to listen to it. As simple as that. Trust me, it's worth the try. Okay, it's worth the try. Like, just give it a try. And another way, these are like really, really obvious, but at the same time quite subtle, less embarrassing ways of making friends. Now, honestly, I feel like embarrassment is the key to success. Just embarrass yourself to the peak. Like, just embarrass yourself beyond human comprehension and watch how well it works out for you. But obviously, obviously that's just me. If you don't think that, then don't do it. So another idea is to ask somebody for a pen. Just ask them for a pen. Just be like, hey, do you have a spare pen that I can borrow? Like, just make friends. Like, it's not going to be that hard. Trust me, it's not going to be that hard. And honestly, let me just remind you that you're supposed to be anxious in like a life and death situation. For example, when like a lion or a tiger is chasing you, not when you're supposed to talk to somebody your age. Okay, that is not when you're supposed to be anxious. That is not when you're supposed to be anxious. Second part of the advice is do not take people seriously. Don't take people seriously. Best piece of advice I'm giving you. Do not take people seriously. What people say most of the times is, especially in the first year of college, is genuinely just a futile attempt to make themselves look and sound funny. Okay? Most of the times these people are just trying to make other people laugh so that other people would want to talk to this person more, but that's not how it always works. I have always been repulsed by people who make a joke out of themselves to make other people laugh. Okay? And I don't like that. So, okay, oh my god, I skipped out on the most important part. Before you start college, note down everything that is okay with you and everything that is not okay with you. Okay? Note down the things that, like, in other people's behavior that you can tolerate and things that you appreciate, and also note down the things that you can absolutely not tolerate, and that is going to make things very clear for you. When you have a list of things that you can tolerate other people doing and things that you cannot absolutely tolerate other people doing, then it makes the view like clearer. You understand the kind of people that can stay in your circle, the kind of people that you would like to interact with, and the kind of people that you don't want to interact with, and you learn to just separate these people and interact with the other group if it's absolutely necessary. Okay, so when you basically, what happens is you learn to set better boundaries when you know what your boundaries are. Now obviously, if you don't know what your boundaries are and you go into college and you're like, oh, this person just disrespected me, is that okay? Like, am I supposed to laugh at this, or am I supposed to cut this person off? This is when your boundaries come in. Everything that you wrote in this list is what's going to help you segregate whether you need to let this person go and cut them off completely, or if it's okay. Now, personally, if somebody cracks a joke about me in front of me, I'm going to give them a death stare and I'm going to cut them off. Another way to approach this situation is to just ask people to explain the joke. Just do it. Just be like, yeah, what is so funny about it? Like, what is so funny about it? What are you laughing at? Anything that is like just mildly disrespectful to you, don't tolerate disrespect. Actually, don't do it. Don't tolerate it. Okay? Set your boundaries. Okay? When somebody cracks a joke about you, don't laugh. Please don't laugh. Like, tell you what happens. Okay, they crack one joke and then you laugh because you genuinely don't think it's that bad. Okay, and then after that they continue to crack another joke, and then you laugh again and you're like, haha, actually, what the actual fuck. Anyway, and then they crack another joke and you're like, okay, this is not okay. But you've already laughed at their jokes about you multiple times. So when you set a boundary in the middle, like randomly on like one fine Thursday, you're like, oh yeah, actually it's not fine that you're cracking jokes about me. Okay? When you set that boundary out of the blue, this person's obviously gonna be like, but I was just joking. It's the most annoying thing people do is like, oh, but I was just joking. Shut up. Shut up. I don't want you to joke. Just shut up, okay? So that's the entire thing. When you set a boundary out of the blue, the other person is more, I would say, more probable to question why you're setting a boundary randomly, like out of the blue for no reason, right? For you, it's like, oh, I've tolerated this disrespect for so long. I really want to set a boundary. But for them, it's like, what the heck is wrong with you? Like, yeah, that is exactly what's going to happen with them. So, again, be very, very firm about all of your boundaries since the very beginning. We do not let people decide who we are. That needs to be tattooed into your brain. you need to realize that this piece of information should stick with you forever. Do not ever let people underestimate you or talk shit about you or crack jokes about you in front of you. Let them do whatever behind your back, okay? Your back is adorable. Your back is sexy. Let them do whatever they want to do behind your back. Just do not let these people say stuff like this in front of you, okay? Don't tolerate it. Because the minute they find out that you're tolerating all of this bullshit, they're gonna do more of it. They're gonna try to find out how much more you can tolerate. Be a bitch, okay? If they're gonna be like, oh, you're such a bitch, you can't take a joke. Fine, then so be it. I can't take a joke. I cannot take a joke. Like, at least I can set my boundaries. It's a win-win. As simple as that. As simple as that. And another piece of advice, let's move on to the next most important advice. Do not completely neglect your studies. Okay? I've done it. I literally did not study in my first semester of college. Luckily, actually, I studied in the first semester of my college. I did not study at all in the second semester of my college. I started I messed up so much in my second semester of college. I started missing out on a lot of my lectures. It's not even like I would bunk my lectures and sit in the canteen or go out with friends. I would go home. I would be like, okay, 3 lectures for the day is more than enough. I am leaving. And then I would just run back home. My CGPA was better than my first semester of college, and that is because I don't know. I have no way to explain that because I did not study. I studied for 40 minutes before every single one of my papers, before every single one of my exams. I opened every single PPT and every single PDF in the train while I was going to college for the exam. Genuine advice to you, I made this mistake. I don't want you to make this mistake. Do not completely neglect studies, okay? Study, please. Just a little bit. I don't want you to study 7 hours a day and not have a social life. That is just not good. That makes no sense. Study one night before the exam if that's what's good enough for you to pass the subject. At least pass, guys. Just pass your exams, okay? The important question is, how do you survive first year college drama? We're getting to the juicy stuff. This is the juiciest part of this entire video, honestly. And I'm not gonna say I did not have college drama. I had a fair amount of it, but really minuscule. I did not let a lot of people find out about it. Okay, first things first, if you have friends that fight by the end of the college year, if in case, honestly hope it doesn't happen, but if in case that happens, don't go around telling people about it. Don't tell people about it, okay? Because everybody else is just looking for gossip to go and make newer friends. Honestly speaking, I shouldn't have done this. This is the biggest mistake I made. I told people about my personal life in the first year of college. I did not tell them in the first semester itself. I told them gradually, but then I told them really personal things. And then these people that, yeah, obviously used all of that stuff up to go ahead and make other friends. But yeah, so that is a mistake that I made that I don't want you guys to make. This is what I've learned in college, first semester, second semester of college, is that don't tell people about your personal life. Now I have a more I would say filtered social life where I tell people about really selective things in my life. And a lot of the other things, I just don't talk about them. Yeah, no, I'm not going to tell you about that. No, thank you. Anyway, the thing is, you tell people about yourself way too quickly, and then people will find ways to use it against you. I'm not saying everybody's going to do it, and I'm not saying it's going to happen to you for sure, but I'm saying that there's a possibility that it might happen, so just be safe. And that's it for today's YouTube video. Thank you guys for watching. I love you guys so much, and I hope this video was helpful for you. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!